Box play on the part of the Toronto Red Wing defenseman.
That's right. So I think it's only a matter of time now before Toronto get their first goal of the game. They've had some excellent chances. Jeff Chisholm has come up big. That time the puck was sliding through a number of players' skates in front of the net, and they just couldn't get their stick on it.
Well, it certainly seems like both clubs are throwing defense to the wind, caution to the wind, and they're both going to the attack, and it's been a wide open affair so far in this midget championship game at the Big Nickel tournament. Play now at center ice, the red line. The Red Wings gain possession, try to clear it in, and number 11 for Toronto, John Nelson, finally finishes off the job, and he regains possession in the Sudbury end, looking for someone to pass to. Out in front to number 10. He tries to shoot all alone. Oh, and number 15 for Toronto, Keith Osborne, just missed the far side. That was a very dangerous chance, and Paul Nisho and Jeff Chisholm decide to hang on to that puck in front of the net, and the face-off will be to the right of goaltender Jeff Chisholm in the Sudbury goal. 8:03 left in the second period. And the Sudbury Burgess Powertrain Midgets leading the Toronto Red Wings by a score of 3-0.
Well, as you mentioned, John, Red Wings seem to be taking the play to Sudbury a little bit more in the second period. I think the big reason for that is that they've been playing the body a lot more than they did in the first period. You see a lot of green shirts flying around, laying on the ice surface, because the Red Wings are making sure they get a piece of them anyway whenever they have the control of the puck, and has created a number of good scoring opportunities for Toronto.
And you get the feeling too, Blaine, that if the Red Wings would get one, perhaps maybe the floodgates would open, and that might really tighten things up. But so far anyway, Sudbury is leading 3-0, but Toronto is pressing, and they've come close several times to getting on the scoreboard and getting back into this hockey game. 7:50 now left to play in the second period.
Manager for the Sudbury Majors is Terry Jackson, and the trainers are Norm LaRock and Don Cuxey.
And so far they're doing a good job with this club. Cleared in now by Bobby Duval into the Red Wing zone. Picked up there by number 13, defenseman Rob Hallant of the Red Wings. He's jostled along the boards. Some good forechecking there by Van Simpson. However, the Red Wings regain possession and bring it out of their own zone. Now along the boards, number 18 for Toronto, Steve Ablett. But he's checked by Mike Kapanen. And they clear it back into the Toronto end. Now up over the red line. The Wings try to clear it in. They get it partially, but Sudbury clears it out of harm's way again. And play a little scrambly right now, most of it around the center ice area. Clubs are shooting it back and forth. Now in the Sudbury end. Good forechecking there. Cleared right out in front, but no one was in the slot. And the puck now goes to Bob Duval for Sudbury. He clears it into the Toronto end. No one there to pass it to. Wings now pick it up. Some good forechecking there by Troy Sloat. He's working hard behind the net. Picked up by Ross Wilson. He's back out onto the ice. Clears it out in front. Oh, that puck almost got onto the stick of Guy Mongeon. Back out over the Toronto Red blue line now. And Sudbury regains possession, coming back to regroup. Cleared into the Red Wing zone. 6 minutes and 26 seconds left to play in this second period. Sudbury ahead of Toronto, 3-0. Now Sudbury another chance. A good hard low shot there by Sloat. Just missed to the glove side of Charlie Podman. Now here's a chance for Toronto. A shot and a good save there by Jeff Chisholm on the slap shot by number 17, Gary Luther of the Toronto Red Wings. Sudbury clears it out of their own zone, and they're called on the icing play. With 6:02 left to play in the second, it's 3-0 for Sudbury over Toronto.
Number 2 for Toronto, Dave Casson, has given up the puck a couple times in his own end to Sudbury forwards, and he's going to have to be a little bit more careful. He's one of their better defensemen on that blue line, and he really hasn't been playing all that well in this game. He's coughed up the puck a number of times, as I said.
All right, Blaine, 6:02 left to play. The face-off in the Sudbury zone, won by Toronto. However, they lose it. And number 15, Carl Noel, clears it around the boards. Still not out. And they get another couple of tries at it. Finally managed to whack it out of the Sudbury zone. Red Wings now with possession of the puck in their own end. Trying to get something going is number 23, John Alipolis of the Toronto Red Wings. They bring it in over the blue line now. And number 6, Savo Mitrovic, fans on that shot, and the Major Midgets come right back onto the attack. but Jimmy Smith clearing a long one. No trouble there for Charlie Putman and the Toronto goal. Just over 5 minutes left to play in the second period of play. Sudbury still leading by a score of 3-0. Now the Red Wings trying to get it out of their own zone. They do. Cleared up along the boards there. Number 6, Mitrovic, trying to get it. And the play is whistled down on an offside. 5:03 to go in the second period.
We have a number of very valuable sponsors that support this year's Big Nickel tournament, and one of them is with us here in the booth, Bernie Reed from Air Canada, who's done a great job on the providing the trip for us for the winner of the Jar of Nickel draw for a trip for 2 to Toronto to watch an NHL hockey game.
And Blaine, we should mention the winner of the draw is Kathy Walker of Sudbury. And she will receive 2 Air Canada tickets to Toronto. Also 2 tickets to a Toronto Maple Leafs hockey game, plus her accommodations. That's from Molson's. And also $48.55 in the Big Nickel hockey draw. So once again, congratulations to Kathy Walker of Sudbury, who wins the Leaf tickets, the Air Canada tickets, accommodations, and the $48.55 of the Big Nickel draw. All right, returning to play now. 4:26 to go in the second period rather. Sudbury still leading 3-0. Play now back into the Toronto Red Wing end zone. Number 88 for the Wings, Matthew Brake, trying to clear it out. Finally does. The Wings bring it over the red line and flip it into the Sudbury zone. Racing after it, number 11, John Nelson, but it's called on the offside. I guess, Blaine, we should also give some thanks to a fellow that maybe I see too much of at times from MCTV, Mr. Al Orm, the marketing director.
Oh, what can we say about Al that hasn't been said before? He's a heck of a guy.
Well, there's lots to say about him, but unfortunately we don't have that much time. But anyway, we thank Al and we thank all the corporate sponsors for all their tremendous assistance during the course of this tournament. Back to the play, the face-off now in the Sudbury zone. And the Burgess Powertrain Midgets win the draw, but then lose it to the Red Wings for 17. Puck skips out over his stick. And again, the play a little scrambly around the red line. Neither team really dominating play as we wind down the second period of action. Now a chance in front of the net, but it's puck steered away out of harm's way and brought out over the, here's a 3-on-1 now, Ross Wilson. Oh, and the pass just behind number 6. Back to the point now. Mark Guerreau fired it over to Keith Whitmore. His shot hit a defenseman in front of the net, and the Red Wings regain possession and come out over the red line. But again, a Sudbury defenseman right on the spot, and they pick up that loose puck. Mark Guerreau coming up with Wilson, but it's whistled down on the offside. 3:12 to go in this second period, and Sudbury leading still over the Toronto Red Wings 3-0.
Well, to thank Northern Cable as well for providing us this opportunity to bring the games and take the games for our viewers. They are also a sponsor of this tournament in an indirect way. They sponsor some players throughout the year that play minor hockey. One is Dino Cirillo, the backup goaltender for the Sudbury Major Midgets.
And of course, while we're on it, I should thank Sudbury Cable for asking me to help out in the Big Nickel tournament. I'm certainly enjoying it, and certainly, Blaine, it's a high caliber of hockey. I'm quite surprised at the ability of these young guys. We watched the Bantam Championship game as well, and the 13-year-olds, they are certainly very skilled young hockey players. I'm sure many of them will have careers in pro hockey. 2:59 to go now in the second. There's a long shot by Danny Gauthier, and Potvin decides to hang on. The face-off will be in the Red Wing zone. 2:55 to go in the second period, and the Burgess Powertrain Major Midgets still hanging on to that 3-0 lead over the Toronto Red Wings. Face-off will be to the left of goaltender Charlie Potvin of Toronto. On the draw will be number 10 for the Sudbury club, Greg Levere. He loses it, and the Wings bring it out. Here's a 2-on-1 now. This could be dangerous. Number 43 winds, and a hard shot, but it misses the net. It was high and wide, and the Sudbury club regains possession, brought out by Greg Levere. He tries to hit his teammate Jimmy Smith in the right wing, but it was intercepted, and the Red Wings come back onto the attack now, dumping it into the Sudbury zone. Picked up there by number 15, Carl Noel. Picked up again by the Wings. A soft shot from the point, and Jeff Chisholm decides to hang on to the puck and get a face-off. 2:24 left to play in this second period of play in the Midget Championship final at the Big Nickel.
Well, Jeff Chisholm, again, as we've mentioned quite often already, is playing very well. He's very sure of himself down there, and his record speaks for itself so far in this tournament. And it looks like he's headed for his third shutout here if he can pull it off.
Well, he's got a long way to go yet, Blaine, but certainly as the Wings have started to pick up the pace, he's had to make a few good saves, and he still held them off, and it's still 3-0 with 2:24 now left to play in this second period. Face-off in the Sudbury zone. Mike Kapanen will square off with Keith Osborne, and he wins the draw. Now the puck is loose in front of the Sudbury goal. Osborne with it again, and it's cleared away by Mike Kapanen. Sudbury on the attack again. Whitmore now clears a long one in. Oh, and a nasty incident there, and Whitmore looks like he's hurt. I didn't quite catch it. It looked like the Wings defenseman just got the stick up underneath his neck, Blaine.
Yeah, he is. He looks to be very, very shaken up over there. Let's hope it's nothing serious.
I don't know if it was a deliberate play on behalf of the Red Wings defenseman, but he certainly did get the stick up in the face or neck area, and he is still down there, and we'll have to wait and see if it's serious or not, but certainly a stick in the face or neck area. Now 2:06 left to play in the second period. 3-0 for Sudbury, but right now the focus of the attention down behind the net, and there he is.
Well, as we mentioned, he's only 14 years of age, but he's a very tough player, and he's used to that rough going. He can dish it out as well as take it. So that looked like to be, as you mentioned, John, a little bit of a cheap shot there. He's going around the net after the whistle went, and
bit of a cheap shot, but it doesn't appear there's going to be a penalty. So perhaps the referee didn't see it or thought that it was unintentional. So anyway, both sides at full strength as we get ready to go into the last 2 minutes of the second period. The draw now goes along the boards where Ross Wilson clears it into the Toronto end, and the Wings defenseman just clears it out to center ice. Wilson has it again at the blue line now. He's looking for someone to pass it to. Dumps it off, but no one there, and the Red Wings pick it up. They come back. 3-on-2. Keith Osborne into the corner against Paul Michaud. They jostle along the boards for the puck. Coming in to help out is number 14, Troy Slode, and they get a whistle along the boards with 1:41 left to play now in this second period of play.
Well, the Red Wings are playing much more aggressive in the second period. It appears as though the coach, Bill Doden, has told them to start laying on the body and try and create some scoring opportunities, which they have. But as we've mentioned, Chisholm has come up with the big saves when he's had to, and the Sudbury defense is playing very, very well.
They are indeed. Toronto, as you said, are much more aggressive in this second period, but they still don't have anything to show for it. They've been held off by Jeff Chisholm and the Sudbury club. It's still 3-0, and we're down under 2 minutes to go in this second period. Another stoppage play. The face-off again will be in that Sudbury zone. You're watching the Midget Championship hockey game at the Big Nickel tournament here at the Sudbury Arena. As we said, Sudbury still hanging on to that 3-0 lead. 1:37 to go in the second period of play. Face-off in the Sudbury zone. On the draw will be Guy Mongeon against the Red Wings, number 11, John Nelson. On the draw, Mongeon wins it, clears it back into the corner, but Nelson picks the loose puck up, back to the point. The shot is partially blocked by Ross Wilson, and he tries to flip it out, but he's not successful. Now he is. He finally gets it out over that blue line, but the Wings fight for it and regain possession. Nelson tries to come in. He falls, and the loose puck is picked up there by Sudbury. They clear it along the boards. Now it's still not out. The Red Wings have it. A good pass there. Just number 14, Aki Kairov, just fails to pick it up. Again, a good save there by Jeff Chisholm. He was partially screened. I don't think he really saw that. Now into the last minute of play. Puck still in the Sudbury zone. This is about the most sustained action the Wings have had all afternoon. And they still have the pressure on at the side of the net now. It's Kyrov with it. He still has it, but he's checked. Sudbury can't clear it. Another shot from the point, just misses the side of the net. Another shot, oh, and there's a good chance. All alone, Nelson just ripped one wide of the goal. And finally, the puck comes out over the blue line. We're down to 30 seconds now in the period. Still 3-0, and the Wings on the attack. Just failing to reach that puck. Paul Michaud fails to clear it. Nelson. The Wings are getting caught in a line change here, and they lose possession. That gives Sudbury a chance, and they clear it the length of the ice. The seconds ticking down in this second period. Wings trying for one last chance, but it's a double line pass, the offside, and with 8 seconds to go in the period, that should just about wrap up this second period of play.
Well, like the ending of the first period, with the last minute, Toronto was really taking it to Sudbury, and they're doing the same thing here in the second, trying to get at least a goal and go into that third period with a little bit of momentum at least.
Well, they came close, but again, they weren't able to finish off the play, and that cost them because they're going to go to the dressing room. The way it looks, down by 3-0, and that's going to be a large margin for them to overcome. And there it is. There's the buzzer. And the second period of play is now over. And the Sudbury Burgess Powertrain Major Midgets continue to lead the Toronto Red Wings. They scored 2 goals in the first period and added 1 in the second. Bob Duval with a pair and Guy Monjean with the first goal of the game. The Powertrain Midgets lead Toronto by a score of 3-0 with 15 minutes left in the third period.
Take the time to know about tranquilizers. Tranquilizers are the most prescribed of all drugs. Like a sedative, they produce a feeling of calm and well-being at low doses. Regular use can cause physical or psychological dependencies. There are several widely used tranquilizers: Valium, Librium, Serax, and Miltdown. Short-term side effects may include skin rashes, nausea, and dizziness, while increased aggressiveness can occur in the long run. Combining tranquilizers with other drugs, such as alcohol, other sedatives, cold, cough, and allergy remedies, should be avoided at all costs, as well as driving while taking tranquilizers. Some tranquilizers used during pregnancy may increase the risk of some congenital malformations in babies. A doctor should always be consulted before using tranquilizers.
Aphasia. It can be like finding yourself in a foreign country where you can't speak or understand the language. Aphasia is caused by stroke or other brain injury. Help is available both for people with aphasia and for their families. Treatment should start right away. For information about aphasia and the services in your area, call this telephone number. I'm Harrison Ford. Thanks.
Share a little bit of yourself without even knowing. When you share a little bit of yourself, you'll find good feelings growing. You get a glow that feels so warm inside. You share yourself and your heart opens wide. When you share a little bit of yourself, you'll find good feelings growing.
From the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the Mormons.
These are 2 of the posters our police force uses to show us what drinking and driving can do. All too often, they remain just posters hanging on the wall. Last year, they became real to 9 people in Sudbury. 9 people died in traffic accidents involving alcohol. The youngest was 9 years old. Dead drunk is not just a phrase to describe drinking drivers. It's a phrase to describe victims.
Sudbury Community Television, TV7.
Welcome back to the Sudbury Arena in the third period of the Midget Championship game of the Big Nickel Hockey Tournament, and the hometown Sudbury Burgess Powertrain Major Midgets. A big surprise are leading the Toronto Red Wings by a score of 3-0, and Blaine, your observations in the first 2 periods of play.
Well, Sudbury certainly have taken advantage of their scoring opportunities because they haven't had all that many, especially in the second period. Toronto have been taking the play more to Sudbury in the second period and have been playing the body much more effective, I think, than Sudbury's playing Toronto. So I think Sudbury's fortunate right now to be ahead 3-0, and you know, they're going to have to hope that they can hang on right now at this point.
And I think if Toronto could get a goal right off the bat, we'd see quite a battle to the finish because, as you said, the Red Wings, well, their Sudbury had a good shot right off the start of the period. That one, Keith Whitmore, and Charlie Potvin hung on to that one. That was just 21 seconds into the period.
Well, Whitmore does have an excellent shot from the point. He has a tendency sometimes to get the puck a little bit too high and off the glass, but he's been keeping it down lower in the last couple of games, and by doing that, they're going to create some good scoring opportunities in front of that net.
All right, on the face-off, won by Sudbury. They cleared wide of the net, where it's picked up there by John Alipolis of the Toronto Red Wings. The Wings now twisting and turning, bringing it over their blue line. Cleared into the Sudbury end, but there's no one there to pick it up, and Bobby Duval clears it up over the blue line. Play now a little scrambly around center ice, back to Alipolis of the Red Wings, and he manages to get it up on the right side. A shot there, a weak one, from way out at the top of the face-off circle, and Jeff Chisholm decides to hang on.
Should mention, too, that the Sudbury defense and Jeff Chisholm, the goaltender, have played very well, exceptionally well, cleaning out the front of the net, keeping players away from the edge of the crease where they can bang in a rebound or get their sticks on a loose puck. So you have to give them a lot of credit as well.
That indeed could be one of the big stories of this game, that the Sudbury defense doing a better job at clearing out the front than Toronto, because certainly that's what caused created the three Sudbury goals. Players hanging around the edge of the crease and capitalizing on the few scoring chances that they've actually had. All right, 14 minutes and 1 second left to play in the third period. Sudbury still hanging on to that 3-0 lead. On the face-off, won by the Red Wings, plays still in the Sudbury zone. Mark Garrow trying to clear the puck out. And we have an injury out there. I believe that is Guy Mongeon. I didn't see what happened there, Blaine, but he went down very quickly. It appears to be a shoulder or something in his face.
It looked as if he caught his skate on the Toronto forward's shin pad or around that area, and he went down. I can't really tell if he's favoring his shoulder or whether it's the leg. But he went down heavily.
And the trainer out there now for the Sudbury club, taking a look at him.
Guy is relatively small in stature, but he is very solid and very stocky. He's a very tough character as well.
He's had a good game so far, but again, the concern down in the Sudbury end zone for Guy Mongeon. He's still down on the ice, being attended to there. Can't say for sure what the problem is, but he's still down, and now he's starting to get up.
I think you're right, John. I think it is his shoulder.
Seems to be favoring that left shoulder quite noticeably, and if that would hold up, it would appear doubtful if he would be back the rest of the afternoon.
Right now, he has a game-winning goal. First goal of this game, he scored at the 4:10 mark of the first period. Shots on goal, by the way, John, for the two periods, 24-19 for Sudbury. They outshot Toronto 14-11 in the first period and 10-8 in the second period, which is a bit of a surprise because Toronto have been carrying most of the play for the last period and a half, we thought.
They have, yeah, but of course a lot of those Toronto shots too were far out and really weren't that dangerous. But they have the play again in the Sudbury zone and just missed there on connecting on one. Sudbury managed to clear it out of their own end now. Again, there's an offside at the Sudbury blue line, and Toronto called offside. 13:29 now left to go in the third period. You're watching the Midget Championship Final at the Big Nickel Hockey Tournament. The hometown Sudbury Midgets leading Toronto 3-0. On the face-off, Sudbury wins it now. Cleared out over the blue line into the wing zone, but picked up there by number 17, Gary Luther, who brings it across the blue line into the Sudbury end. But Major Midgets recover and clear it back out. Now Matthew Brate for Toronto behind the net, carries it out, passes it up on the wing. Again, the play along the boards picked up now by the Red Wings again. They try to bring it in, and a lot of the play in the center ice area. We played just over 2 minutes in this third period. Again, Toronto tries to bring it out. That lead pass just failed to connect, and Sudbury clears it right back in, and it's a shot on goal. Again, the Wings bring it out. Dave Casson, the defenseman, goes around 2 defensemen, clears it up now. And Aki Kyrov clears it into the Sudbury end. The play along the boards, and it's whistled down with 12:28 to go. Sudbury is still up, 3-0.
Defenseman for Sudbury, Mark Garrow, made a nice play, knocking the Toronto forward, John Nelson, off the puck, which resulted in the stoppage in play.
As we said, 12:28 to go in the third period now. 3-0 Sudbury. The play now in the Sudbury end. The Wings winning the face-off. However, the puck comes out over the blue line, brought back in again. And Sudbury gains possession. Play scrambly, as we said. No one really taking possession of that puck. Now cleared deep into the Toronto end. By number 23, John Alipolis, turns, tries to carry the puck out. He hands it off to number 43 for the Wings, and he can't do anything with it. They have to start all over again. Now number 11 for Sudbury into the corner. That's Mike Kapanen, and he in turn is checked. And John Alipolis picks up the puck again. He winds out up over the blue line, looking for someone to pass it to. Hangs on to it, and he clears it into the Sudbury zone, where it's picked up by Mark Garrow. Good body check there by the Wings as they try to come in and forecheck, and he falls in the puck, and that results in another stoppage of play. 11:33 to go now in this third period of play at the Big Nickel Hockey Tournament Midget Championship finale.
That's a good play by Garrow there, smothering the puck. He had lost his stick on the play, and there was 3 Toronto players in the Sudbury end zone, so by getting that stoppage, it allows Coach Mike Hapey to make a change, bring out some new troops.
All right, 11:33 to go now. The Wings win the draw. Back on the point. The shot by Matthew Braid wide of the net. Now play along the far boards. We're in the corner. Jeff Gould fights for the puck for Toronto, but it's picked up there by Greg Levere, who clears it out of the zone and down into the Toronto end of things. Picking up the puck now is Rob Palante for the Red Wings. He just dumps it deep into the Sudbury zone, and again, the play a little scrambly, a lot of offsides, a lot of the play in the center ice area. Sudbury now clears it out to the red line. The Wings look to try to get it back in. Matthew Braid does clear it in, winds it around the boards behind the net, where they fight for possession, and it's picked up there by Sudbury. They come out over their own red line. That's Greg Levere. He clears it in and heads to the bench as Sudbury gets a new line out there and gets some fresh troops. The Wings try to come out, but Sudbury picks it up, and it's dumped down the ice by Sudbury, and it's a shot right on goal. Jimmy Smith in, good forechecking job there. Not too much penetration this period by Sudbury in the Toronto end. They've been content mostly just to dump the puck in and come back and make sure their men are covered. They really haven't had any good scoring chances so far, Blaine, and a lot of the play, as we said, at center ice, looks like the Wings are getting a little frustrated.
Sudbury is definitely playing a more defensive, disciplined style of play. The forwards aren't going in as deep. They're staying back and making sure they're up with their wings that they're supposed to be covering. And as you say, Toronto aren't getting any good scoring opportunities at all, but neither is Sudbury getting any offensive attack going because of that style. Do
you think it's too early yet for Sudbury to be going into a defensive shell? After all, there's still 10 minutes to go, and Toronto got one. They'd be mighty tough. Well, anyway, the face-off won by Sudbury in the Toronto end. Picked up there by Dave Casson, and he feeds it along the boards. 10 minutes now left to play in the third period. Still 3-0 for Sudbury, but here come the Red Wings. A good diving save there by Paul Michaud forces number 17 wide, Gary Luther. And no shot in goal, but the whistle goes.
We got a penalty to number 10, Greg Levere, I believe, from Sudbury. It looked like an innocent play. He was just covering his man at the corner, but referee Brent Belzile called him for holding. And this will be Toronto's first power play opportunity of the game.
Well, Blaine, this is maybe what they've been looking for. They haven't had a power play opportunity. In fact, there's only been 2 power plays, 2 penalties the whole game, both to Toronto. So we'll get to see now what the Red Wing power play is made out of and see how much they test goaltender Jeff Chisholm in the Sudbury goal. 9 minutes and 50 seconds left to go now. There's a shot right on goal. Chisholm blocks it and sends it off to the corner. And there's a pile up in front of the goal. 1 minute and 49 seconds left in that penalty to Greg Levere. The Wings on the power play, and they need one quickly to get back into it.
Again, Chisholm coming out of the net to smother that puck. But again, there was another Toronto forward going there and knocking it loose. Fortunately for Sudbury, the whistle went. There'll be a face-off to the right of Jeff Chisholm.
9 minutes and 39 seconds now left to play in the third period. 1:49 left in the Sudbury penalty. And there's a goal! Right off the face-off, the Red Wings put one behind Jeff Chisholm. And I'll tell you, with over 9 minutes left to go, this still could be quite a finish. It's 3-1 now for Sudbury. We'll have to wait and see just who is responsible for that one, but the Red Wings get on the board, a power play effort, and they cut that Sudbury lead to 3-1, and we could be in for quite a finale yet. All right, it was an unassisted effort by Gary Luther, number 17 of the Red Wings, on the power play with 9 minutes and 35 seconds to go in the third period. And as we said, that will cut the Sudbury lead to 3-1 and give the Red Wings some much-needed life. And I think, Blaine, that we're going to be headed for quite a finish now that the Red Wings have finally broken out of their scoring shell and head into this last 9 minutes.
I think Sudbury definitely is going to have to start taking the play to Toronto a little bit more. Otherwise, Jeff Chisholm could be shell-shocked by the end of this period because Toronto is really coming on, and now they have that first goal. They have to watch out for it.
And here they come again now. A good move there, in all alone, Osborne. Oh, and a good save there by Jeff Chisholm. He got a piece of it. Another shot goes behind the net, back onto the point. That shot ricochets wide, and I'll tell you, the Sudbury club had better start getting something going because the Red Wings are really starting to come on now. And they just about closed that gap, 3-2. A good shot there. Osborne went in all alone, and had Chisholm not got a piece of that shot, we would have had ourselves a 3-2 hockey game.
Again, the Sudbury goaltending holding this club in the lead. You have to wonder how many more times that Jeff Chisholm can come up with big saves like that when he's one-on-one with the Toronto forward.
Well, it seems Sudbury has definitely lost the momentum. They're content to dump it out for the most part, and perhaps they're not skating as well as they were at the start of the game when they did all that good forechecking and scored those goals. But here's a chance now for Levere behind the net. That's blocked at the defense by Dave Casson, but Jimmy Smith and Levere continue to fight for it. Levere with it back onto the point. The shot through a maze, but stopped there by Charlie Potvin. Back to the point again, and that shot just misses the goal. And it's picked up behind the net by Mark Delta of the Toronto Red Wings, and he puts it right onto the stick of Levere, who shoots. There's a good save by Potvin, and again he does the same thing. The defenseman for Toronto, right on, he scores! Jimmy Smith at the side of the net picks up that puck, which bounced crazily off the boards. In fact, Charlie Potvin didn't even know where it was. He couldn't get back over to cover that far post, and Jimmy Smith puts the lead back to 3 goals. It's now 4-1 for Sudbury, and Blaine, that is a very big goal for the local club.
Well, you always want to keep that 3-goal lead going into the final period, and as you say, the next goal in a 3-1 hockey game is very important, and that makes it 4-1. And I just wanted to say, Jimmy Smith really made the play for himself. He created a lot of havoc in front of that net. He knocked a few Red Wing defensemen off the puck, and fortunately for him, the puck came right onto his stick, and he had a wide open net to put it in.
And ironic. All right, there you have it. The fourth Sudbury goal, scored by Jimmy Smith and Greg Levere and Danny Gauthier at 6:53, and that is a big goal. Just as we were talking about Sudbury losing their momentum, what do? They come back and get a fourth goal on the efforts of some good forechecking. However, the Red Wings come back again. They hold the puck into the Sudbury zone where it's finally cleared out by Mike Kapanen, and here's a 2-on-1 now. Bob Duval along with, and a great stop there on the defense by Jeff Gould. Otherwise, that would have been a two-man breakaway. He played that perfectly. And force number 19, Van Simpson, off to the side, and his pass over to Bob Duval never made it. Jeff Gould, certainly a great play in that one.
You're right, Johnny made an excellent play. Van Simpson hung onto the puck, looking to feed Bob Duval, who could have had his third goal of the game. But Pennell got a stick on it.
That was Pennell. I thought it was Jeff Gould, but at any rate, a great play by the Toronto defenseman. And it seems like Sudbury has been getting some new life after that goal, because they certainly have, the attack has sprung to life again, and it's something that they needed to do in order to stay ahead in this game.
As you say, John, it didn't appear.
Well, there's a shot. A great save there by Chisholm, and he hangs on to the rebound. 7 minutes now to go in the third period. 4-1 Sudbury, and another face-off in the Sudbury end.
Well, that's one of the few times that Toronto has had a close-in drive on Chisholm. That's Keith Osborne, who deflected that pass right into Chisholm's pads.
All right, on the face-off, Toronto wins it again. They clear it in front, but no one's there, and it's picked up by Troy Sloat, who shovels it into the Red Wing zone. This could be icing. Well, it's waved off, and play continues. Sloat just misses it, and the Red Wings come out again. 3 of them, but there are also, and a great move there, all alone. And a great save there by Jeff Chisholm on number 15, Keith Osborne, who was all alone in front of the net. And Jeff stuck out that right pad and robbed Keith Osborne. Otherwise, we'd have ourselves a 4-2 hockey game.
And after Osborne's drive, I.K. Kairov slid the puck past the goal mouth. He had really a wide open net.
He had Chisholm at his mercy, but
Jeff may have got a piece of it with the stick.
Certainly Jeff Chisholm, a big story in this third period. Several good stops, and probably one of the best ones, robbing Keith Osborne. Score stays 4-1 for Sudbury. Now 6:26 to go in this third period of play. Sudbury now brings it over the line. Here's a breakaway from Jimmy Smith, a partial one. He's all alone. A great stop there by Charlie Putman. I think we're going to have a penalty on the play. We'll have to wait for the call, but Jimmy Smith, his progress was partially impeded there by the Wings defenseman, and we are indeed going to have a penalty. Still waiting to see who it will be.
It's going to be number 23, John Eliopoulos. I believe that's how you pronounce it.
Eliopoulos.
He took a two-hander at Smith as he was going in to shoot it. Really, that was very close to being a penalty shot, because Smith was in all alone, and Eliopoulos came from behind and really gave him a vicious two-handed slash.
Very close indeed to being a penalty shot, Wayne. Jimmy never really did get a shot away, and the puck kind of laid there crazily, and the other power-trained player for Sudbury wasn't able to get a stick on it, and the Wings regained possession, and we have the penalty call. It's against John Eliopoulos of the Red Wings, and again Sudbury goes to the power play. Just over 6 minutes left to play now, and if they could get one here, that would pretty well wrap it up. It's and it just misses the far post there, and the Wings try and bring it back out. They get it over the red line now. Good move there by number 6, Savo Mitrovic, but he dumps it off into the corner, and here's Jimmy Smith. He's content just to flip it out. Greg Levere trying to get it, and Dan Gauthier picks up. Now Greg Levere has it. A high pass in front, no one able to corral it, and the Wings race away again. Number 43 is all alone. And again, the play now inside the Sudbury zone. Mitrovic picks up the puck. He takes a long shot at Jeff Chisholm, and then heads off to the Toronto bench, and new troops come out for the Toronto Red Wings. 58 seconds left now in the Sudbury power play. Wings trying to kill off the penalty to number 23, John Eliopoulos. Close to being a penalty shot on that play just a moment ago. Now the Bob Duval, a good move there, dumps it into the Toronto zone. Where it's picked up by Van Simpson. He's checked, and it's cleared out by Fred Pennell of the Wings. 33 seconds now in the penalty, and the Sudbury club really has not had a good scoring opportunity on this power play. I think their content is to make sure their men are covered and go from there. There's number 11, Mike Kapanen. Solid body check, but loses the puck. The Wings come up with it, and they manage to get it over the blue line, and we have an injured player, Mike Kapanen. I didn't see what happened there, but I think he took a solid body check.
I think it was number 8, Jeff Gould, who dropped him very heavily with his arm. But Mike Kapanen, again, small in height, but definitely very big in heart and character, and he's definitely been their leader throughout this tournament with 7 assists, that is, and the point totals and the top scorer for the team.
All right, 4:27 now to go in this third period. Still 4-1 for Sudbury. The play now in the Red Wing end zone. Behind the net now, Sudbury with possession. Back in the point, the shot, and it's blocked, but it gets back to the point again to Mark Garrow. He dumps it in. The penalty is over, and the Red Wings go to full strength. And here's Iliopoulos trying to get it up, but he fails, and then he heads off to the bench on a player change. Sudbury is whistled down in the offside, and there's now 4 minutes, 1 second to go in this third period, the midget championship game of the Big Nickel tournament with the Sudbury Burgess Powertrain Major Midgets, with this one well in hand at this point anyway, leading 4-1 over the Toronto Red Wings. Face-off now just outside the Toronto blue line, picked up there by Mark Garrow. He's going to clear it into the wing zone. And a lead pass for Keith Osborne just fails to connect, and Toronto will be called for icing as we get down inside the 4-minute mark. 3 minutes and 51 seconds left to play in this third period.
Well, as we're winding down, John, you have to wonder who's going to be the most valuable player.
Well, Blaine, you've seen a lot of these games. How about pondering a guess?
Well, I hate to guess. There's so many players on the Sudbury team, especially. It looks like they're going to win this game, and you think the MVP would come from that team. All the players played so well throughout this tournament. I think you have to look at the goals against. If this holds out, the score holds out, that means 3 goals against in 5 games.
Well, we're talking about Jeff Chisholm, but he's got a challenge here. Here's Osborne again and again. I think he missed the net. I don't think Jeff got any part of that puck, but he didn't have to because Osborne fired it up over the net. Play still in the Sudbury zone where it's whistled down, and that clock is now becoming an enemy for the Toronto Red Wings. It's creeping down ever so slowly now, just 3 minutes and 29 seconds remaining, and that 4-1 Sudbury lead is looking insurmountable now as the Wings try and get something going during this last 3 minutes of action.
You've seen Toronto forwards miss so many times from that far side. They keep going in on a 2-on-1, and they end up shooting because the defenseman goes with the other forward, and Chisholm is left to defend the goal, and it disappears. He comes out all the time, challenges the shooter, and they have nothing left to shoot at.
Yeah, they have. They've had several opportunities, as you said, Blaine, and every time they've missed. More than thwarted by the goaltending of Sudbury's Jeff Chisholm. Face-off now going to be in the Sudbury zone. As we said, we're going to have offsetting minor penalties here. The teams will play at 4 aside. 3:27 to go now in the third period. There's a shot tipped just wide of the Sudbury goal. And who else? Bobby Duval up to Mike Kapanen now inside the Toronto zone, but we have an offside and some shoving, jostling along the boards between Kapanen and Gordie Law of the Red Wings, but nothing becomes of that, and face-off will go back down into the Sudbury zone.
Mike Kapanen plays that Kenny Linsman style of play where
doesn't he though?
Gets his nose in there all the time, and very hard-nosed centerman.
Bobby Duval is much in the same mold as well, a small, fiery type of player, but certainly involved in a lot of the action this afternoon.
They're real fire pots out there. They really get that team going and get the other players motivated. Jimmy Smith's along that lines too.
All right, on the face-off, Sudbury gains possession, and Troy Sloat clears it into the Toronto zone. Teams playing at 4-a-side, offsetting minor penalties. 1:39 left in those penalties. Now a long shot from the point, misses the net, and the Red Wings pick it up. It's Savo Mitrovic carrying it up over the red line, looking for someone to pass to. He dumps it off in the left wing, and they fail to get anything going on that, and Sloat content now just to dump it out over the red line. We're under the 3-minute mark. Still 4-1 for Sudbury. Here's Mitrovic again giving it a try. He dumps it off. Kyrov had a good chance there. Mitrovic right in front of the net, but Jeff Chisholm equal to the challenge. And here comes number 6, Guy Mongeon, who is back after hurting his shoulder. It's the first we've seen of him since he went down earlier in the period. And he goes off on another line change. Wings now trying to get organized in their own zone. 2:20 to go, still 4-1 for Sudbury. And here comes Aki Kyrov, a good move there around one defenseman. Back to Mitrovic, he's on the backhand, and a good save by Jeff Chisholm with the left pad on the backhand from Mitrovic. Mark Darrow picks up the puck now, clears it into the Toronto zone. There's Ross Wilson, who's played a strong game. He lets go with a blast, but that's wide of the net. And it's picked up again by the Red Wings as they get caught in a line change. And we're going to have a face-off just outside the Red Wing blue line. 1:52 left to go in this midget championship game. And Blaine, it looks very much like the Sudbury Burgess Powertrain Major Midgets. They're going to win the midget division this year.
That's right, and it's a real pleasant surprise to, I'm sure, the players and the management, as well as the tournament organizing committee and the city of Sudbury, because they finally have a winner in the midget division of this tournament for the first time.
And Blaine, while I have the chance, I'd like to congratulate yourself and Jerry McCrory on a fine job for the tournament. And I wish you all the success in the future, and hope that you have many more years of success with this Big Nickel tournament. It's been a real pleasure to be a part of it.
Well, thank you very much, John, and we certainly appreciate your support and Mid-Canada's and all the sponsors and the people involved with the tournament. Speaking of which, volunteers play, as you know, a very big role in the tournament. There are a number of volunteers that have helped out with a great deal in this tournament. If I can just run down the list quickly. Of course, Chairman Jerry McQuarrie has done an excellent job putting everything together. There's Armin Vincent, Oscar Kluche, Josephine and John Hanlon, Bill Ryan, Billy and Jim Zahavich, Sheila Roy, Norm Mayer, Kay Whitmore, and Marcel Presse. Not to mention the number of volunteers that have helped out throughout the weekend, security and ticket selling, and
you can never have enough of them.
Oh no, they're just fantastic.
Well, you've all done a marvelous job, and the tournament has went very well, and each and every one of you deserve a lot of credit. We're winding the third period down, just 1:15 left to go, and the Sudbury Burgess Powertrain Major Midgets are going to win this one. The Toronto Red Wings, a little frustrated, I would have to say right now. The Sudbury club just bumping and grinding and dumping it in and doing a bit of forechecking now and again, and totally in control. There it is. We're down under a minute to go. Here come the Red Wings again. It's a 3-on-2. They bring it over the Sudbury blue line. Number 10 gets decked there by the Sudbury defenseman, and it's dumped back into the Toronto zone. They've already pulled their goalie. They obviously think there's still a chance, but that lead pass misses, and Toronto is called for icing. They can't be too happy about that one.
Well, Potvin will have to go back in the nets on this face-off. But with 38 seconds, it's pretty well game over now, John.
I think they're playing more for pride. They just like to get another goal, but who knows? Stranger things have happened, but
I think Jeff Chisholm will have something to say about that.
Well, I would likely think so.
He's played so well this game. It's just unbelievable.
He has indeed. A lot of shots in this period by Toronto, at least the first half of it. All right, 38 seconds left to go in this midget championship hockey game. The face-off in the Toronto zone. Mike Kapanen on the face-off, and he wins it back to the point. There's a good shot from Mark Garrow, kicked aside by Charlie Potvin, who's looking to try and get out of the net, but Sudbury won't let him. They continue to hold the puck in the Red Wing zone, bring it back over their own red line, and now shoot it in. Just 20 seconds left to go. Potvin heading to the bench. The Wings have the puck, trying to get it in. There's John Eliopoulos, clears it in, but no one there to pick it up. And Keith Whitmore picks it. Just 9 seconds now to go. The puck over the boards. And this one well in hand for the hometown Sudbury Major Midgets.
Again, we have to give a lot of credit to the coaching staff of the Major Midgets, Mike Hafey, Russ Farnell, and Barry McCrory for doing a great job with this hockey club. They play a very disciplined style of play, and I'm sure that this tournament will be a real catalyst for them in the many tournaments they'll be playing this year. And I think they've got a real good season to look forward to.
All right, we're going to count the seconds down now. Just 5 left to go. And here's a penalty call. 4 seconds left to play. I believe it's a penalty.
I think they just called that one offside.
Probably just an offside. 4-1 for Sudbury over the Toronto Red Wings. They will win the midget division at the Big Nickel for 1985. All right, on the face-off, won by Sudbury. They clear it down the length of the ice, and there it is. 1985 midget champions at the Big Nickel Hockey Tournament, right here from Sudbury. The Burgess Powertrain Major Midgets defeating Toronto Red Wings by a score of 4-1. Just to recap the scoring, there were 2 goals scored in the first period by Sudbury. The eventual tying goal was by Guy Mongeon. He scored at 10:30 of the first period. And then the first of his 2 markers, Bobby Duval, and the first period ended 2-0 for Sudbury. In the second period, they lengthened the lead to 3-0. Bob Duval's second goal of the game. And then in the third, Toronto got back into it on the power play at 9:35. That goal, an unassisted effort by Gary Luther that cut the lead to 3-1. And at that point, it indeed looked like we were going to have quite a finish to this midget game. But shortly after, just about 3 minutes later, that good line for the Sudbury club, Jimmy Smith, Greg Levere, and number 9, Dan Gauthier, were involved in the play. And Smith reconverted, good forechecking, shoveled it into the empty net. That put the lead to 4-1 and broke the spirits of the Toronto Red Wings. That was the final score this afternoon, 4-1. And they're announcing the 3 stars of the game. Jimmy Smith, one of the stars. Second star from the Red Wings, number 17, Gary Luther. As we said, he scored the lone Toronto goal and played a fine game on the left wing for the Red Wings. You're watching the closing ceremonies at the Big Nickel Hockey Tournament at the Sudbury Arena. The Toronto Red Wings and the Sudbury Burgess Powertrain Major Midgets. And there you see Matthew Brait and Dave Casson of the Toronto Red Wings as they receive their consolation, their runner-up medallions for the Big Nickel Tournament. There's Rob Palante of Toronto. Number 8, Jeff Gould, the defenseman. John Eliopoulos. Number 10, Mark Del Duca. Number 17, Gary Luther. And there's the second star, as we said, of the game. Gary Luther scored the only goal for Toronto this afternoon. Number 11, John Nelson, who also played a strong game today for Toronto, had a few scoring chances and led several rushes. Savo Mitrovic, he also played a strong game. He was one of the few Red Wing forwards who got right in close to the net and took a bit of a bruising in there, but had a few scoring chances. Defenseman Fred Pannell. Maggie Kairoff. Keith Osborne had several good scoring chances this afternoon down that right wing and couldn't capitalize on any of them. He also took a couple of minor penalties as well.
Number 18, Steve Abbott. Number 30, Charlie Putnam.
And the goalie, at least today's starting goalie for Toronto, Charlie Putnam.
Manager Jack Matthews.
There's the manager of the Toronto Red Wings, Jack Matthews.
Coach Bill Dowdy. Trainer Ian Wasserman. Let's have a big hand for these Toronto Red Wings.
So the Toronto Red Wings receive their consolation medallions for the tournament. Now our roar will go up to the champions of this midget division, Sudbury Burgess Powertrain Major Midgets.
Number 3,
Dino Sorello did not play in this championship game, but he did play throughout the tournament and, might add, played very well. Mongeau, who recovered from that injured shoulder and came back to play late in the game.
Number 7, Jim Smith.
One of the stars of today's game, Jimmy Smith, who scored the 4th goal for Sudbury.
Number 10, Greg Laverne. Number 11, Mike Kapanen. Number 12, Bob Duval.
Strong games from Laverne, Kapanen, and this young fellow right here, Bobby Duval, who scored the second, the winning goal, and the insurance marker for Sudbury.
Number 14, Troy Scott. Number 15, Tom Morales. Number 16, Norm Kupferman. Number 17, Glenn Babbitt. Number 18, Chris Mills.
And they're winding down the championship presentations. There's Chris Mills, Van Simpson, and Ross Wilson, along with goaltender Jeff Chisholm. Left to be presented their championship medals.
Number 21, Ron Wilson. Number 30, Jeff Chisholm. Manager Terry Jackson.
And of course, more than just the on-ice performers deserve a lot of credit for this victory. Manager Terry Jackson can take a lot of credit, as well as the coaching staff. Michael Hevey, Ross Farnell, and Barry McCrory, all 3 of them done a good job with this Sudbury club.
Trainers from number 1, Don Kelsey.
listening to the Big Nickel Tournament Director Blaine Smith at ice level.
The winners of the Most Valuable Player Award for the first time is being shared. And what else can you say about two goaltenders who only allowed 3 goals?
And there you have it, the Most Valuable Player Award for the midget category going to the 2 goaltenders. Sudbury, Dino Sorello and Jeff Chisholm, both very worthy recipients of the award. They've recorded 2 shutouts in the tournament. And Jeff came very close this afternoon to recording shutout number 3 for the Sudbury club.
We call upon Jerry McCrory, department chairman, to come forward and present the championship award to the Sudbury Burgess Power Train Major Midgets so that they can show everyone what the championship award is like. We have the captain, Harlan Wells, come forward to accept this award. Congratulations once again, Sudbury.
And that pretty well wraps it up from center ice here at the Sudbury Arena. Burgess Powertrain Major Midgets won the midget title, 1985 Big Nickel Hockey Tournament at the Sudbury Arena. And as you can see, they're showing the spoils of victory skating around the ice. All right, from the Sudbury Arena, Blaine Smith, I'm John Walton, wishing you a good night.
For 86